Johnny Keener.
Aye.
Phyllis Shargey.
Aye.
Bill England.
Here.
Bill John Baker. Jack Baker.
Here.
Audrey Connor. Joe Crittenden. Meredith Fraley. Don Garvin.
Aye.
Taylor King. Jackie Bob Martin. David Thornton. Kara Kellen Watts.
Aye. Right. We do have a form. We'll entertain approval of the minutes for May 15th.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Okay, Cemetery Restoration Assistance Report. Donna. Charlie, is that going to be you? Donna's looking at you.
Go ahead, Donna, and I'll support Donna.
I believe, Council, you have in front of you a written report. While they decide who's going to come up and speak to it, you can take a look at that.
I think you'll have the report, some of the notes we went back from the agendas that we had from the previous meetings about the cemetery projects. And I understand y'all may have some questions, or you may have to want to talk about some policies and procedures you want to implement, or however we can help to carry that out. We'd be glad to assist any way we can. So really, what I understand is what you all wanted to talk about was sort of putting policies in place, and they haven't been done in the past. So what we do now is what we go with running the program here.
Okay, hold on just a second, Charlie. That is on the agenda under new business. Do you all want to go ahead and consider moving that up and discuss it now, or we want to wait till the end of the agenda?
So
under new
moved
business?
to amend the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion to amend the agenda, item number 2, under new business, up under the cemetery restoration report. Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Okay, now we're good. So you have
We can discuss
the report that's in front of you. The first page is what has not been reported on at all. Is that correct? Don't try this written report.
Yeah,
And
this is
then
written
after
recorded.
that, okay. The first page is the projects that were incomplete in '05. The third page is the projects that were incomplete in '06. The fifth page is the projects that were incomplete in '07. Actually, that's right now, right?
Yes, come on.
Or that are past the 120 days. Okay.
Somebody's not due yet.
And I think what the discussion was the last time we were the council was going to try to think about what you had in mind, the questions that you have in mind for this, these cemeteries, and what policies we might be thinking about. We've had discussion after discussion after discussion on this, and I think community services in need of a black and white policy. So that's what we're here to do, I guess, today. Yes,
Chair?
Councilor Watts.
If, I assume the committee would like staff to continue administering the program since they're part of the executive branch, but I'd like to see just a recommendation from you guys, and we either amend or vote yes or no, because there's no point in us, I think, telling you guys how to do it when we're not the ones that have to do it. So,
Let me just comment, just make a couple of comments on it. Actually, I think most of you that's been out in the communities know what they're up against. When usually they ask for money because there is a need for money to improve the cemetery. But, you know, most of us are up in the ages where we do believe in Scott Doogie. We know that the older people will come to the cemeteries and help. But you go out to some of these communities and see the people that's working in the cemeteries, keeping it clean or trying to make improvements. These are the older people, and they can't really work like they used to. That's just the concept they have in God Doogie, but it's the younger people that really needs to be involved But so far, there's not that many young people that will get involved, because that's where they need the muscles to help build fences or to fix the graves or mow the grass or whatever. For the older people, it's sort of tough on them, because just at my cemetery, Joe, there's Benny Hogler, you know Benny. He's an elderly, diabetic, and heart problems. And then there's another lady there, his wife. She's an elderly person. And there's another lady, Aline, comes out there. She's an amputee. And then the other people is Bill Collins. Bill Collins has a heart problem. And then there's another person that comes who's very severely diabetic. But they believe in the concept. They believe in honoring their families, and they believe in keeping up with them. And so we go out there, my brothers and I, and we help them. And so about midday, we don't have to, but we just, once you go home, and we'll take care of the rest of it. So then we wind up doing, which I don't mind at all. I'm very proud to be able to still do what I do, and of course sort of carry the load for the older people. But then you go to other cemeteries, you see the same thing, So, and some cemeteries are very fortunate where they can hire somebody to mow the grass, to mend the fences, and those kinds of things for them. So, but I think with the policy here that you have, this system that you have, I really don't think you can do any better than what you do. And our job is just to try to enforce it as much as we can and try to do it. But there is a need out there, but I think we probably could make a better effort to try to get, someone out there to stay on top of this. But on the other hand is this, again, you have to find somebody, and I know Don and them they got their hands full. And you talk about hiring additional personnel, but then you say, where's the money going to come from? We don't have the money to hire somebody, and, we don't charge indirect cost on this, so there's really no funds available to hire somebody. But when you talk about all these cemeteries, that's a full-time job. There's a lot of cemeteries out there, folks, and there's a lot of them that still needs to be done. Because I see a lot of the cemeteries that need to be worked on, and it's just sort of sad to see our people being honored, somebody keeping it up. But like I said, some of the older people they believe in that Scott Dookie concept and families helping each other. So I don't think you could do any better than what's here, honestly. So, but whatever you recommend, whatever we can do to help, we'd be glad to do it.
Yes.
My only concern is because of the Freedom of Information Act, if there is a question about funds and such, that it's not that they have to have a receipt for every dollar expended, but I'd like to see some feedback, like even if it's a handwritten letter, as long as it's legible, that says, yes, we did do this and we expended it, with the getting gas money or something like that. So there's some, it doesn't have to be like a receipt, like some kind of,
I agree with you.
but just some documentation that says there's ownership from that person who received that Cherokee money in case there's question.
Talking about accountability and
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, some of the people that do get the funds too, they really don't know about record keeping. So they just. I'm not saying all of them are like that. A few of them probably that way, and but I think they do the best they can with the expertise they have in dealing with some of this.
Mr. Martin?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think a lot of this, Charlie, I agree with you. A lot of this is trusting the people that does these things. I don't get to see all of the people that make the request, in our district.
Right.
I think we've got 4 today, but I did talk with one of the people. But when I do get to talk to these people, I tell them about the 120-day thing that's in our policy is, even if you buy a gallon of gasoline for your lawnmower, get a receipt for it, and lawnmower blade or anything you buy pertaining to the upkeep or maintenance of the cemetery or whatever, turn that in, But really, our policy, that's about all that's required. Now, I read this letter and highlighted several things in it. Apparently, they look like there may be a little problem in some of the areas pertaining to that. And that might be something we need to look at and study, but there are a lot of cemeteries out there, and,
There are.
and people find out about this, you know, the more requests we're going to get.
That's right, they are.
Thank you.
Mr. England?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Charlie, I read your letter also, and, or it was from Willard to you, but
Right.
I've talked to a couple, and I've talked to Mr. Fancher about this, you know, after I got a call the other day from you, and these people, all our cemeteries, these people are all volunteers.
That's right.
And, you know, when I talked to Ronnie Fancher the other day, he goes, you know, Bill, if I've got to give the $500 back, I'll give it back. He said, because I'm not going to go get a receipt every time I go buy 5 gallons of gas for a lawnmower, because he says it's just not his nature to do that. And I understand, because usually if they're running in to get 5 gallons of gas, they're going back out and they're going to be hot and sweaty. Their seed is either going to blow out of the truck or it's going to be. So I don't, you know, and these things are being taken care of. So to me, the proof is there that these volunteers are taking care of them. They're spending the money properly, or these cemeteries wouldn't be in the shape they're in right now. And I don't know how much burden you want to put on these volunteers. And Fizz Domrey's takes care of the Charlie Cemetery. That man's 86 years old. I mean, he's going to take care of whether he gets $500 a year or not, you know. It's just helped them, you know. And for people to stand and basically tell them that they're not doing their job, well, I don't know how you fire a volunteer. I mean, I'm certainly not going to fire one, you know. I'm not even going out and criticize them. I go out and praise them for doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think you can overburden them, but I think you guys have done a great job of monitoring our cemeteries up our way, so I have no complaint whatsoever. I'm trying to mend that immense of all the stuff that's been put out against these people mowing and taking care of these cemeteries, because now they're hearing the rumbling in the background that they're not doing their job and everything. And I don't want them to quit, because I don't think anybody sitting on the council wants to go out and mow everybody's cemetery for them. They're not doing it now.
Well, I think too, the other thing is if you're going to go mow the cemetery, I mean, if you got gas in the garage, you're going to go grab your gas, and there's no receipt to show for it. You know, so you go use your own gas, and I think that's what a lot of people do, and use their own weed eaters and mowers. And if a mower goes, their own mowers, we use our own mowers. So if we have to go buy a blade or whatever, you know, just
Charlie, I think Donna has something to add.
I just want to ask a question.
Sure.
Now, if the contact person, that's, you know, if they're the person that's supposed to, you know, get the receipts or whatever, account for the funds, can they keep the money, I mean, pay theirself? I mean, keep the money for doing it, just like Fancher. He didn't apply for the funds.
Right.
Another lady did, and he just signed the application. And I told him, I said, well, I can check. I said, I don't see any, you know, I don't see any. It ain't my money, no. But I mean, can the contact person, can they keep the money for themselves? That was my question. Because some of them do go out there and do the work, you know, themselves. They can't find anybody else to do it. I have like 2 or 3 of them like that. Or they pay, you know, and then or pay family members to do it.
John Watts?
Madam Chair, I did follow up with Mr. Hembry, our lawyer, after the last meeting too, and I asked him to draft one. Of course, I think he's in D.C., I guess, for that deal. So, I mean, I'm worried about taking up their time, our time here and their time here, because we should come into this committee with a draft, and so of a policy. So maybe it needs to be an agenda item for next month with an actual policy drafted. Is that something that you could take on?
Clarification. He got back 2 o'clock this morning. He is in the office. He did call and say that if we needed him for anything, that he was available. But I just wanted clarification.
And I think what Councilor Watts is suggesting is that maybe we form another subcommittee and do some work with the community services to get some of these questions answered. And personally, I think that's a good idea. We could just go ahead and do that and work with our, is that not what you suggested?
I think it's something you could probably do.
Well, you know, I was involved the last time with this, and this is the same discussion that we had with Melanie and Todd, and I think Meredith was there. And, you know, if it's not setting, you know, right with the council and with community services, then I think that we need more than just 3 of us involved with those people again. So I'm going to take your suggestion and ask everyone who wants to be on the subcommittee to come, and let's get this ironed out once and for all, because last month what I thought I heard was that we wanted a receipt for every expenditure. And now this month I'm hearing, well, let's just take a written report, because, you know, we don't have receipts all the time, and we don't have the capability to turn in receipts. So we need to get it hammered out so that these community services can have a little bit easier job trying to administer the program. I've got Councilor Martin and then Baker.
Well, getting back to the statement I made a while ago about, you know, trusting our people, we do, and I'll get back to what I said a while ago and add another statement in what the lady just mentioned a while ago. When these checks are made to certain individuals, you know, that heads up these groups out there. And of course, this is a good friend of mine, Charlie, and you know him when we get to it after a while, you know. And I told him the other day, I said, and the reason I say this, Jewel, I say, get a receipt for everything you buy. I don't care if it's a gallon of gas or what it is, so you can get it back in. And then what you could, you know, we have to trust you. What you could do when this check is made out to you, you can cash it and go to the casino and spend it all, you know. So we have no idea, you know. That was, you know, it's a joking way of trying to get the point across, you know, that we need some kind of information back to where we know what, have a record of what you spend this money for. But anyway, thank you.
Could I make a recommendation? Is it okay with the council then if, why don't we sort of write up some policies and then you review them, see what you think? Or do you want to do this? However you want to do this? Whatever. I mean,
I have a comment before I will. Right.
Yes, please. And I think if I understood it right, I agree wholeheartedly with you. We can make this really difficult, and we can make it where we'll spend almost as much money in employee time and employee headaches and written reports and trees and all those kinds of things, having Cherokee citizens and generally elders worrying about finding that receipt and that glue in the back of the truck or whatever. And folks, I've gone around to these cemeteries that we've done, and the proof is out there. The proof is there. And whether the 80-year-old man has to mow it himself or he gets the grandson to mow it, I mean, generally, you're going to have to get a relative to mow it. Nobody else is going to go out and booth knot and in the middle of a pasture and mow it unless they've got relatives or have some kind of a vested interest in that cemetery. But the quality of the maintenance of cemeteries has gone up tremendously since this program started.
That's right.
And I mean, if I got a vote or whatever in this deal, I'd say a written report and only when there's a feud and they come to us and say so-and-so stole the money is the only time that we would even consider anything more than a written report. And, but that's my opinion and what I think a policy ought to reflect.
Okay. A suggestion has been made to this committee, and we're going to hold that because Councilor Fraley has a comment or a question.
Just a comment that
Okay.
Gail has been really good as far as District 6 is concerned. She's been really good about calling and asking for receipts, and they usually turn them in. That's just a comment.
Comment?
Madam Chair, when a check is cut, there's a contact person that receives it. And just put all the responsibility on him. And just say, if no report, no funding next year. Period. I mean, it's simplified. I mean, you know, he's a contact person. He is responsible for the check that's cut. Now, we go back over this. All of your people that taking care of the cemeteries are 75 years and older. Over in my area over there, we got about an 86-year-old guy that takes care of that, and he does a good job with it. And in other cemeteries, 2 or 3 more that I know, every one of them is, and I know they're over 75 years old. Then when those guys plays out, you're going to really have a hard time, you know. I would say, you know, go there around Baloo area. Keep the cemetery real clean over there. But whenever he never runs out of money because he's got, you know, I believe right now he's probably got big money on the books right now. And sometime he'll call, what am I supposed to do with it, you know? Well, just keep it. If we need it, we'll ask for it. You know, it's just only $15. Well, Cherokee Mesa may need it someday. Just keep it, you know. But, you know, just keep it until they ask for it. Or you go ahead and spend it, you know. And but anyway, contact person is responsible for that. Then it's up to him. And you could simplify it, say we need this once a year, that month, so we can keep our records up. And then, or no funding when you ask for it, unless we get the report. Put them in there. If they want to play a hardcore game, you can play with them. I mean, you know, I don't mess around with them.
Okay, I have comments from Mr. Baker and Mr. Garvin.
Okay. It appears to me that people are learning that they need to report because as we go through, the largest number is back in 05 and there's a smaller number in 06. It looks like people are complying for the most part currently in this year, the ones that are due. So I think that word's getting out that they do need to give us the information. And I move that we follow Mr. Soap's suggestion that they bring our suggestions to our next meeting for our approval or disapproval and discussion.
Second motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second that we take the community services suggestion of developing policies for this,
Yes.
for administering the community assistance fund. And got a second, so all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mr. Garvin, you had your hand up for comments?
Well, I'm just going to comment. We need to keep it simple, and we need to get away from this hard rule on receipts, and we need to check the cemeteries, let that kind of speak for itself. And
I agree with you.
I don't know, a council person can check it, or anybody can check it. The word's going to get back sooner or later, and I think the key to this whole thing is keep it simple and don't be expecting accounting records and that sort of thing. I think committee can come back with suggestions and we can flip it around some more later.
Do we want to address this then on next month's agenda, or do we want to set aside a special time just to talk about this? We've taken up quite a bit of time just discussing it this month, so if you could get suggestions to us a few days before the committee meeting, then maybe everyone will have their comments ready and suggestions ready. Meredith, do you have a
I was
question?
just going to ask him if he wants any council people there with, when you're composing these.
If you'll let us know
Yeah,
when
right.
you're going to start working, and then those of us that wish to come and attend, we could do that.
Okay. But we're not going to let up as far as monitoring this program, and we'll be certainly want to make sure that the people working in the area are accountable for their funds, because we can't just let money go out. And still yet, I think we can be very diplomatic in working with the people and keeping their funds available for the cemetery project. So we'll still monitor these to the best of our ability, and also be responsible and accountable for those funds that you all appropriate to our department.
Thank you, Charlie. We really appreciate all the work that you all do. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the records report from Dr. Sly. Good morning, Dr. Sly. I'm glad to see you back. I intended to call you and find out how things were. I hope your brother is doing better.
Yes, he's home recuperating at my house, doing very well. Thank you, Chairman. So, see you guys. It's good morning, and I tell you what, this past week I appreciate every morning. We have a very short report this morning, and that we've ended all of our language classes for the spring, and we have now begun the summer cultural camp that began last week, June 4th, and will run through June 29th at Cherokee Elementary School. And we're also working on the assessments for the immersion programs. Kindergarten, we're refining it, and we're also going to begin work on the first grade assessments so that we can talk to you about, and other individuals about, what kind of progress these children are making in their language acquisition, and if it's holding up their development in their English skills. So we're doing that. I have one staff member who attended, along with the Healing to Wellness Court staff, the 13th Annual National Association of Drug Court Professionals. We are a resource to all programs within Cherokee Nation. The Healing to Wellness Court, I think, is going to become a national model for bringing culture into the court program, and so he's participating in that. I attended the Language Summit, and we did a lot of work. As you all have heard, last fall they passed the Ana Martinez Language Act, which will propose funding immersion preschool programs, language survival schools, teacher training, and parent training. Appropriations were made last week, at least recommended, $3 million. We were recommended that they have 10, but $3 million is a beginning, and so we do have news on that. At the Heritage Center and the education activities, they've completed their humanities course, and the course instructors and the staff began evaluating it, looking for ways to improve it for the fall semester. And so that went well. They had a total of 18 who completed that. And they conducted cultural classes. They did the pucker toe moccasins, and they had 8 in attendance. Board math class was held, and they had 13 people. And so they went well with that. And then they're continuing to assist and with the co-partners programs with the events this spring, and helping them to bring schools over there and working with them. They're looking at planning a 2008 strategy meeting. It's going to be set within the next 3 weeks, and so they're inviting council members who are interested to be in contact with them. And they're also talking about under the Cherokee Moon dinner theater that is going on. You're also they also invite you to attend that. And then that's all of our report this morning, because like I said, in summertime, it's very short. All my staff are committed to that language camp. Cultural camp.
Dr. Sly, you requested the update on the GPR equipment as an agenda item. Do you want to just go ahead and cover that under your director's report?
Surely. We have received the GPR equipment. Along with the equipment, there were two individuals who would have training through that. One of them has gone and received their training. We'll begin working with the equipment next week, getting it out, getting our own equipment hooked up. The other one will go the 1st of August, but we'll be ready to conduct some cemetery GPR work probably within, I think 3 weeks they'll be ready. But would also like to bring in some individuals to bring them some further training, because the most difficult part is not setting up the equipment and operating it, but identifying what you're seeing on there. And so we're taking some individuals who had no experience and looking at that type of software equipment. So I think that what I'd like to request along with that is be able to divert some of that $10,000 money, the amount of money funds that you have for GPR work, if we could do it for some training for some staff and continue that with your permission. And so we're going along well in that aspect.
Dr. Sly, I have a question. Mr. Keenan?
Yes, Gloria. I know how this little equipment works and stuff. I mean, I've seen it work. I don't know how it works, but I know it works. Who does the groundwork to get it prepared for this machine can roll easily?
Well, if no one's out there to do it, we have to do it.
That's what I say. You're funded for that, though.
Right.
That's the reason why it costs a little bit more sometimes, because, of course, you already, okay, that's all worked out. I was just kind of wondering, because some cemeteries got all kind of trash and stuff with it, and the machine can't make it that way,
Right, so we have to pick it up. The workers who are out there doing the work have to do that. But unfortunate. Well, there are other departments other than mine who are wanting to utilize the equipment, so they're willing to have some staff assigned to do this kind of work. Roads needs it periodically. Environmental needs it periodically. Natural resources also, along with the real estate, and then of course ours with the cemetery work. So what I was thinking is that, and the hard part is not, like I say, running the grids and having the machine out there and taking on. The most difficult part is reading the information once you've got it and downloaded on the laptop. What are you really looking at? But we've got some good individuals, I think, taking the training, some who will be with the tribe for long term.
Okay, that's, Dr. Sly, is that all of your reporting and the GPR report?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and tackle the next item then? That's the former chief's gravesite monuments.
Yes, I neglected to do follow-up on that because we were getting ready for this summer camp and staff were trying to wrap up their other classes. We did not go through and get the cost estimates that you had requested, but I will have those for you.
Okay, so we just need to put that on next month.
Next month, yes, I'll have that in writing to you.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to move that to next month, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you, Dr. Sly. Hope things continue to get better for you.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Like I said, he goes back next week for another stint. He had 3 implanted, and so we'll have a 4th one, but things are going very well. Thank you very much.
All right. The next item on the agenda is an act amending Legislative Act 2505 as amended by Legislative Act 107. And it should be in your packet. It's considering looking at the 1% of the total cost of construction. Mr. Baker, would you like to speak to this?
Yes, basically this bumps it up to 2%, and if it's a parking garage, then it goes to another appropriate Cherokee Nation facility, and I put it in form of a motion.
I have a motion. Second. In favor of this? Just for approval? Okay, so we can discuss it.
Madam Chair,
Discussion?
somebody in the audience.
I have a motion and a second, and we're calling for discussion. Thank you. Would you come forward, please?
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I think the last time that this was brought up, I had indicated that C&E does have some excess funds from the 1%. And I have brought, this is information as of June the 1st of what the budget is for our projects and what has been expended to date and what our excess amounts are.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, this isn't totally C&E. This is for Cherokee Nation, all entities, and, C&E is just one piece of the puzzle.
I understand, and I tried to get information. We're working with the health department right now on the clinics, the Muskogee Clinic and Nowata, and also at Redbird Smith on the renovation there. And they indicated that they would not have any excess funds. Now, I'm not aware of any other projects within Cherokee Nation. We're not working with them anybody else right now except the health department. But one of the things that they did indicate that 1%, of course, comes from their budget, which could impact services to the people. And if we increase that to 2%, that could be, a dental chair or an examination table or what have you that provides direct services. So all I have right now is C&E information.
Mr. Baker?
Yeah, and I really don't think that would be accurate. I mean, the clinic just came to us for an additional $2 million for equipment that we're funding out of the Gen Fund, and the construction comes out of, in this particular case, a bond issuance that we made up the shortfall, and our people might not get health services, but this would not be the reason why.
Okay, and I was just relating information that I was provided, so.
But I just don't, whoever gave it to you, I don't think it was really accurate.
Okay.
And because, we have constantly come back and refunded the shortfalls on the gymnasium, on the health clinics, almost every project out there. And once you buy this artwork, it not only helps the artist, but it's there for 100 years. Mm-hmm. And I really think this is important, and
it is an investment for the nation, because most of this art will appreciate over time, so I understand that. At the very top is the projects that we have, C&E has ongoing right now with the art budget, the 1%. And down at the bottom there we have, from the Tahlequah Casino, we have a surplus of $12,772. Salisaw Casino, we have a surplus of $46.21. I think there was an error in math on the Roland Casino remodel, because we have actuals of $53.50 at this point in time, and they didn't take that into consideration. Roland Travel Plaza, we are still awaiting word from the architect if we are going to purchase any art there, and if we do, it would be around the theater that we have at that facility. The Roland expansion, the budget is not available at this time, although we have purchased some artwork, and you can see $14,000 worth of artwork for the Roland facility. West Island Springs expansion, the art budget is $557,215, And again, that is in progress right now, and there have been no purchases. Don't have an actual budget for Catoosa expansion, although you all may have more information than what I was provided. And then the parking garage. There have been, that budget is $149,399, and none of that has been expended. Sean Slayton asked that I do inform you that that will be used with probably the Catoosa expansion, with the additional hotel rooms and buying art for all of them, plus the facilities. So anyway, that's what we have right now to date. And like I said, there are additional funds. Those funds are available until they're expended.
Committee, any comments or questions? I would just like to make a comment that, I have visited in the Sallisaw Casino. People would always say, you should see the art, you should see the art. So I did go in and look. And there's just not very much of it. I mean, if that's the amount of money that was spent, well, then we didn't get very much, for the dollar. So, that's why I think that the increase, so that we can have more than just a few pieces to look at, is and why do we have only a small amount? I know that the pieces are expensive, and a lot of expense goes into preserving them, so that cuts down on the quantity that we have. So I can see some sense in trying to bump that up. Okay, we have a motion.
Excuse me. We do have some additional artwork for Sallisaw that needs to be hung, and we will be doing that next month. We have additional artwork for Sallisaw and then for Roland that will be hung by the end of next month. So,
Mr. Garber, you have a comment, question?
I'm just thinking of art and thinking about the garage and the travel plaza. I don't see how they go together really. Putting the art in the garage.
We won't be. It'll be used within the
art in the travel plaza. Where'd you put it?
The Roland Travel Plaza. The only place that we would have art, if the architect decides that we need it there, is on the theater portion that we have for.
What's the theater? Does that have to do with the travel plaza?
That was a request that we put that in kind of as a welcome center, and there will be films with regard to the history of the Cherokee Nation that will be ran continuously.
Mr. Baker?
And one other comment, I think everybody's gone past the Bass Pro Shop. I don't know if everybody's gone by Cabela's, but if you ever went by Cabela's, you would remember it, because they've got these huge bronze pieces of, and the one I've seen is a couple of elk locked up and fighting, but you never forget it. And why wouldn't we want some, Cherokee depiction that could be seen from I-40 that would stick in their mind and start the process of that, hey, I'm entering the Cherokee Nation, and I really think that if we would be smart, and we've got some wonderful bronze casters, and we do big pieces, but they go to Tennessee, and we could be using those pieces here and tell a story, and I think it's a good idea. Okay.
Thank you. Comments, council? Comments? Okay, with no more comments, I'll call for the question. It's been motion and second for approval of this amendment. Roll call.
Phil Anglin?
Pass.
Bill John Baker?
Yes.
Jack Baker?
No.
Audra Connor?
Yes.
Joe Crittenden?
Yes.
Meredith Fraley?
Nope.
Don Garvin?
Pass.
Johnny Keener?
Yes.
Jackie Bob Martin. David's absent. Carrie Cowan Watts.
No.
Bill Shargy.
Yes.
Buell Anglin.
No.
Don Garvin.
Abstain.
I have 5 yea, 5 nay, and 1 abstention.
Doesn't pass.
Fails. Okay, moving on to the approval of the cemetery restoration applications. We have a whole packet here. District 1 has 5. Yes, Mr. Carter?
I need to approve the District 1 cemetery.
Have a motion and second for District 1 cemeteries. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, District 1 is approved. District 2, Mr. Garvin.
Last 3 weeks, there's been a cemetery on TV a couple of times. I think it's in Cherokee County. Is it one of these? It was on Channel 6 a couple of times. Well, they really did a good job. I said between Fort Gibson and...
Yeah, I haven't seen what you're talking about, but I think it's over past Menard Bayou.
Over. We have on it? I said we did.
I guess we did. I don't know. I honestly don't. I know that they got with Realty and they were trying to donate. It's a divorce, and it was his family's, but anyway, while she's got deed to it, she's wanting to give us a right of way and back to it, and but I had to send it to Realty. It was getting complicated, and
anyway, it turned out real good on TV.
Good, I missed it.
David did take an application.
Okay. And Shelley says they did take an application, so it must be.
Okay, District 2 applications.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr. Crittenden.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I would move to approve the 5 cemeteries in District 2.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve all 5 cemeteries in District 2. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'll move to approve District 3 Seabolt Cemetery.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? District 6.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
What?
Brian Lindsay's already gotten money this year.
It's been brought to my attention that the number 12 has already received money this year.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Once a year or something.
It was in November.
You doubled it.
Okay, they received funds in November, so, Mr. Baker.
What we might do is hold that one for 45 days, 60 days, and run it through next year's funding.
You move to approve that one?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But just have Shelley hold it, and we'll resubmit after September.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve it with the recommendation we hold it until November or 60 days. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Garvin, do you have a problem with that?
November 60 days don't work out.
No,
Well,
it's actually September when it would come back, so that it would be funded in October.
okay, so do you want to say specifically a month, or do you just want to say 60 days?
I didn't do the math. Hold it till next fiscal year.
All right, are you happy?
Keep
Mr.
it
Garvin?
legal.
All right. Is everybody clear as mud? Okay, we've approved all the applications. Come to the next meeting, July the 17th at 9 a.m. Move to adjourn. Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And I'm sorry we ran over, Councilor Connor, but it was because we started late because we couldn't get a quorum.
Who caused that?